All right, and we are live with a wonderful Tuesday writing sprint session with the terrific trio, at least for a little bit up here. I have Robert joining me for at least this first conversation, then he'll be joining from the other side of the screen. And we're joined today by Danny, who I was saying just before we went live, Abby has been saying nothing but great things about Danny. And I don't want to paraphrase him, so I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself to the crowd here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danny Abernathy. I live in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I'm a book coach and an Enneagram teacher. I run a lovely little community called the Rooted Writers Mentorship, and I work with all kinds of people writing stories that mean something to them and that speak to their reader.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Danny, are you okay if I share your website link in the chat here?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Excellent. Dropping that there so everyone can learn more about you, go and look at things. And if they're anything like when they look at my website, find things that you totally forgot about from like 6 years ago and point out.
There are definitely those as well.
In the chat, I see the chat's been a bumping for over an hour now. So hello to everyone. We have a bunch of familiar names in here, but I see some names that not so familiar with. And Teddy joining us for his first live sprint, which is awesome. Welcome. We're glad to have you here. And I'm not going to go through name by name because we just have so many people, but it is awesome to see everyone. Danny, what are you going to be working on today?
Well, I'm not working on my own project, but I am going to be reading some clients' books. I'm working on one about an autistic guy who he basically goes into the past through a book, and then another about a Black magical community. So, yeah.
Excellent. That sounds fantastic. Robert and I are working on our own books because we're in the middle of the 60-day novel challenge here. So we're trying to get those words written. But that sounds really cool. I'm an editor as well. I haven't taken on a freelance client in so long because I've been doing great Dabble stuff. But it's so awesome working with people on their work, and you get to take like more, I don't want to say like intimate role, but a more intimate role with people to work on what they're really passionate about. And I think that's just so cool.
It is. It's really cool. It's my favorite thing.
All right, I don't want to talk into the sprint. We still got a couple minutes, so maybe in just a minute, if you can you tell us what the Enneagram is for anyone who might not know?
Sure. So it is a personality system. It's 9 types, type 1, type 2. They each have a name, and it's kind of like a star shape in a circle. That's the actual Enneagram, is that shape. And the Enneagram really focuses on why people do what they do, their fears, their motives. And for that reason, it's really a great tool for writers. In my community, I have a whole curriculum, and the first part is all about understanding yourself through the Enneagram so you can understand your own connection to your writing. But then we use it to develop your characters as well. It can be really fantastic for both understanding what's going on in your characters, but also differentiating them. So you're not just writing the same character, the same kind of person in all your characters. And it can be great if you just don't understand a type of person as well. Yeah, it's just an excellent tool. And I love it personally as well.
Awesome. That's fantastic. I see some chats coming in, like Linda here loves the Enneagram. Bonded it a while ago. I know a lot of writers who have used it, and I know I haven't personally used it, but I've seen it around, and I've read stuff from other writers who have used it as well. And we only have 30 seconds before we start here, but a big part of this challenge was getting to know the backstory of your character, where they come from, who they are, what makes them unique, what they struggle with. And so this sounds right in line with that. So I definitely encourage people to hop on over to your website, check that out, get in contact with Danny if you're interested. But I hear the beeping. I'm going to throw my words up on screen here. Robert, we didn't even get to do any chatting. So if you want to come back afterwards, you can in between, but that's up to you. Otherwise, happy writing, everyone. See you in 20 minutes. All right, and that is our first sprint of the day done. Danny, Robert, how'd that go for you both?
I couldn't focus, so I ended up doing email.
Oh no. You know what? That's fair. Sometimes you just can't focus. When we started doing sprints with our words up on the screen, it was the absolute most terrible thing I could imagine. So uncomfortable. Now it forces me to write some words. So I've been there, but now I don't have a choice. Robert, what about you?
It was good. I did fall down a research rabbit hole. I don't know much about sailing ships, and so I was trying to figure out some things that my character was dealing with as a sailor, and then I just got a little too interested. I got 200 words, but
That's still pretty. 200
a
words is
little bit
200
of
words
research
progress.
in there as well. So
Bond saying 204. Now I know why y'all call this the messy middle.
Mhm.
Danny, leaning on your expertise as a coach, do you have any advice for folks who are struggling in the messy middle, just without knowing the specifics?
More. My partner's in the room on a meeting, so you can probably hear him. But I think my advice is like the middle is messy, and so don't freak out when it's hard or when you feel lost. You can always reorient and come back. That doesn't look the same for every person, but also your writing process is different from everyone else's. So don't beat yourself up if someone is like charging ahead, getting 1,000 words like in an hour and you're staring at your computer.
Yeah, 100%. I've been sick. I'm still not at the top of my game. That wasn't a sniff for emphasis. That was just it happened to be when I breathed. Um, and so I've fallen behind our word count goal over the last like 4 or 5 days here, and I'm seeing some of the folks in our community, 20,000 words already, 30,000 words, and I think an old version of me would have been like jealous of them or would have been down on myself for not being at the same point or for being human, for being sick. But now it's just like, that's awesome. I'm really happy for them. And I'm just gonna plug away on my own thing. And this is what's important to me. The writing part is important to me. And if you're a Dabble Academy member, then the Academy newsletter went out today, and actually unplanned, the thing that I talked about there was comparing yourself to other authors and how that is a dangerous game to be playing. So don't. My suggestion in there was to compare you to your past self and see how much you've grown and see how far you've come in the past 6 months, year. I can look at my first book and see, wow, I'm a much better author than I was when I published that first book. So yeah, so that's what went out today. Robert, are you going to be hanging around for the rest of our sprints? I don't want you to jump off without me getting a chance to say bye.
I'll be here. I'm writing
Excellent.
anyways. I'll be here.
Bernadette's saying there's nothing in the first act workshop. Uh-oh. Okay. It's remember, folks, I keep saying this as if it's an excuse. I'm sick, so if something's wrong, that's because of the illness, not because of me. Okay, so Robert, stall for me for 30 seconds here while I publish all those lessons.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like what we were just talking about, I long ago accepted that I am the slowest writer on the Dabble team. Doug and Hank and Abby are all faster than I am. But I'm just comfortable with that. I just know that my process is a bit slower, and sometimes I can plug away and get 500 to 700 words when I'm just like really in the scene and it really is landing for me. Um, but other times, like I do want to take my time and I do want to get, I don't know, just get a little more artsy with the language or just like
Mhm.
have fun with the scene that I'm writing or do a little bit of research because I find it interesting. So
Yeah, and you just need to know how ships work.
exactly.
All right,
Always.
we have another sprint here coming up, and then Danny, I want to talk to you more about your coaching when we get back after this sprint. If you're okay with that, let's do that in 20 minutes. Happy writing, everyone. All right, that is our second sprint of the day done. Danny, were we more successful this time around?
Yes, I focused.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. Robert, how about you? Sorry, your mic was a little underwater
I
there.
think. Yeah, sorry. I think I got to change the settings on this. It went very well.
Good, good. I will say, and I know I want to ask Danny some questions about coaching, but I forgot to mention before that the whole ship research thing. One day, my D&D party wanted to charter a ship to go somewhere where I had planned on them to walk to, and I may or may not have forced them to not take that ship because I have zero understanding of how ships work, what the ranks are on a ship, what that life would be like. And so I just had to be like, maybe next time we can take a ship. And I can do a little bit of research in between. So I might ask for your notes when when you're done this book, or I'll just read it. And
I'll be honest. That a lot of that I'm leaving for my next draft as a problem.
Yeah,
Because
fair.
right now I just need to write the story, but I'll get it figured out, and then we can compare notes later.
All right. Okay, Danny, we know that you work with the Enneagram, but what kind? I'm looking at your website here, and you offer a couple different kinds of coaching. Can you give us a little rundown of what you offer?
Sure. So I am basically like an editor, but I work with you while you write. And that can be like from the very beginning or like after you have your first draft and you're revising. My process is called the story tree process. So I think you, the author, are the roots of your story because everything grows from you. And so part of my process is really exploring why writing is important to you, what this book means to you. And the primary way, sort of the foundation of how everyone works with me is the Rooted Writers Mentorship, which is a group coaching program for deep thinkers and feelers, largely people with marginalized identities. We've got a ton of neurodivergent people, a lot of queer people, a lot of BIPOC people, and we are all just trying to write meaningful books. A lot of people in my community are writing like something that's deeply personal to them. And then, I've got one-on-one coaching. Also, I offer this thing called a story tree assessment, which is like a thorough assessment of your outline. It's really great before you start revisions. So you can get an idea of like what's working in your story, what's not, and what you need to focus on next.
Awesome. Have you ever had someone who didn't have like any idea why they write? Like they just come in, they're like, I like writing for fun. And then, you found the truth.
Well, so first of all, I'm not for everyone. So people either love me or hate me, right? So they're like, no, thank you. I'm only writing for fun. I don't want to think about it that deeply. Or they're like, oh, but it needs to mean something. And those tend to be the people that want to work with me more than the other. But a lot of people come in and they are like, sometimes I'm thinking of a client who came in. I was like, I don't want to think about it this deeply. But then as she did, she was like, oh, okay.
Well,
There's more here than I thought.
When we started our 60-day novel challenge, I did a free workshop here on YouTube. And one of the things that I encourage people to do is this exercise that I was taught by a financial planner. And I adapted it for writing, but I call it the dig deeper exercise. And it's a series of asking why you want to write, why writing is important to you, and best done with someone else. And you just keep asking and asking and digging deeper and digging deeper. And so I'm a big proponent of like, yeah, you can just write for fun, but the odds are you're writing for something more than fun. You're writing because you need to write, or because you have a story that needs to be told, or because X, Y, or Z, whatever it might be. So I think that's really cool. The process that you have, and you're right, it's not for everyone, but I think it's for more people than they probably think it's for.
Yeah
That makes
I
sense.
mean, and it's not usually something you think about. Like I certainly didn't think about it coming into writing.
No.
So
Yeah. All right, I hear the beeping. It's time for our third and final sprint of the day. Happy writing, everyone. We will talk to you in 20 minutes. Bye. All right, that is the end of our third and final sprint of the day. Before I get distracted with chatting and with celebrating wins in the chat, just a reminder to copy and paste everything out of wordsprints.org. If you join me in writing over there, it will save for 24 hours in that sprint on your device if you do forget. But make sure you go and copy and paste it into Dabble or whatever platform or software you are using to write your words. Danny, how'd that one go?
Great. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I love to hear. And Robert, what about you?
Also great.
Awesome. Awesome. And I see some great wins coming in the chat. Manny with 580, Aaron with 800, Linda with 571 for a total of over 1,000 words. Berlin 224, Marcella with 163, Bernadette with 390. Some great results in the chat here, everyone. LJ saying that they're going to do another hour starting in 5 minutes. So join if you want to keep writing. I am not going to write anymore because the mind needs some rest today to get rid of these sniffles, because quite frankly, I am sick of them and I am sick of talking about them. But before I forget as well, we are doing a half-day marathon of sprints tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. Robert and I will be tag teaming those, taking some shifts to cover 4 hours of sprints. So make sure you tune in. I'm going to get caught up and then some. I'm hoping tomorrow, hopefully get ahead. I don't know about you, Robert, but it's going to be a great day. Danny, is there? I'm gonna put you on the spot here. First, you can say whatever you want to say, of course, before we sign off. But how about one big motivational tip for people who are trying to write a heck of a lot of words by the end of the month? I should have told you I was going to do this at the beginning.
Well, no, the problem is that I'm like, okay, here's what I want to say to those of you who feel like you're not doing it right. Because those are usually my clients. Like those are the people that I work with every day. It's okay if your body and your brain and your life are not cooperating with your writing goals. And that doesn't mean you're a failure. And doesn't mean your book isn't working. Like your book will wait for you. And I know I've been sick and I was just traveling and my family's got stuff going on. And like, it is what it is, but you can still write and have fun and enjoy what you can do and how you can engage. So don't be mean to yourself if it's not going as perfectly as you'd imagined.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We often say around here, and I don't think we've said it enough recently, that writing revolves around your life, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you remember that this month, because it's a challenge. It's supposed to be difficult, but the act of writing, and ideally the consistency of writing, whether that be daily or every other day or twice a week, what have it, that's more important than hitting a goal that I set for this challenge and that Nano set 25 years ago, right?
Yes.
That's more important. So Danny, thank you for joining us. Robert, thank you for joining me on this holiday writing sprint session. And if everyone in the chat, if we could get a thanks in the chat for Danny joining us today, and hit that like button for Danny joining us as well. Otherwise, I think we are out of here. Danny, I don't know if you're joining me for some future sprints later this month.
I think I'm coming back every Tuesday. So
okay. So you're normally with Abby. I'm just filling in today, but maybe I'll join in on a Tuesday too. We'll see. Right. But thanks, Danny. Thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you later.
Bye.